Hi, I'm Dr. Sulata Shenoy, Psychologist and Director, Turning Point, Center for Psychological Assessments, Therapies and Counseling, Jayanagar, Bengaluru. I hope that all of you are safe and doing well, including your friends and families. Now, unfortunately, if one of your family members has to go into quarantine for any reason, then it is the duty of the family, the responsibility of all around to ensure that this person is kept in quarantine. So, the first thing would be to see that this person observes the quarantine rules, the do's and don'ts and the protocol as advised. Now, secondly, you also need to see that how you can cope with this stressful situation, because if you are close to that person and he or she is a family member, then a lot of stress and strain would be put on the family members to find out what could be done in these situations. So, once you ensure that the person is comfortable in quarantine and is observing the quarantine rules, then you have to look at yourself as a family member or a caregiver of a person in quarantine and see what is it and how you can contribute. And it may be stressful because it means, one, that you have to take over all the duties and the chores which the person was earlier doing. So, if you had shared some household chores or some official jobs between you, it now means that the whole burden is on you as a caregiver. So, you have to necessarily see how that will not cause a strain on you. Sometimes we forget that the caregiver strain is a lot and a lot of expectations are put on the caregiver. As a caregiver, you might be under considerable stress. As I have told you, maybe handling the responsibilities of the person who has been in quarantine along with your own. And sometimes we seem to forget that the caregiver's stress is equally as much or even greater than the person in quarantine. So, you are responsible for that person's well-being, for that person's hygiene, for that person's eating, sleeping on time, etc. and generally to take care of the person in isolation. So, which means that you need to plan. As a caregiver, it is your duty to plan to see that the meals are given on time and the person is kept as clean and hygienic as possible, so that the quarantine period passes off without any complications. So, if you plan ahead, if you have a schedule of what you want, how you are going to clean the room, how you are going to clean the bathroom, how the person is going to have a bath or take care of himself or dispose of his the used clothes, etc. and the food, then I think it will not be such a strain on you. So, psychologically also you may be worried, you may be thinking that okay, how long this is going to last, so what should I do and how will I cope and how will this person cope, and is something else going to happen, are we go through a worse phase than this. So, these are all the things that could naturally come to your mind. So, it is important for you also to do things that are calming to you, that you do not give in to your own anxiety or end up having depression. So, you need to be calm, you stay mindful, you need to stay focused on what you need to do rather than think about the ramifications of the ifs and buts of the quarantine. So, once you do that, I am very sure that the quarantine period will pass successfully and you will be able to heave a sigh of relief and life can go on as normal.